Oh, hey there, how's it going? I just got back from the war. I'll tell you why I haven't been posting any videos lately. And not totally just because I've been putting all my time into streaming on my other channel or anything. Today we're going to be figuring out exactly how big the New Horizons map is. Or, at the very least, how big it was during the treehouse during the E3 presentation that gave us about 24 minutes of footage. Let's give me a second to shave and we'll get right into it. Oh my god! What is that? Oh my god! Oh, sorry. It was just a hair. Sorry, it was really grossing me out. Anyways, wait a second. What's that? I promised to delete my channel if I was wrong about Nintendo Direct happening during April.
Now, if I'm wrong about this Direct on April 15th, listen, I'm so sure this is happening, I will delete my channel if I'm wrong, you hear me?
Okay, fine, I'll delete it. Stupid thing's been taking up too much room on my desktop anyways. Are you happy now? Good lord. The Animal Crossing world map works with a tile system. You can tell this by the fact that you can't just dig anywhere. Every time you dig on a tile, it's the exact same spot, instead of if it worked more dynamically, or you would dig in slightly different spots every time you use a shovel in the same area. This would make finding the map size very easy, if we had a copy of the game. Thankfully, my uncle is Nintendo, and he gave me an early copy of the game. Did you know you could get married in this game? Weird, right? I'm just thankful I can finally marry best girl Booker. I'll forever love you, Booker. So here's how we're gonna do this. In the trailer, we saw paths being created, with the character essentially showing us how big each tile is in this game. That's a great start. In the treehouse demo, we actually saw what the minimap currently looks like. I say currently since there will almost be a year from E3 2019 and the release date of the game, so there's plenty of time for things to change. We also saw a very distinct giant square in the map. Nook's 10 area, which I'll now just call Nook Square for ease, took up a very large space. Thankfully, the character walks from one side to the other from multiple angles in this footage, which should make finding the exact size of the square a little bit easier. Another helpful thing is the notice board, which is clearly 2 tiles wide. So all we gotta do is just duplicate that a couple times, and we can figure out there's exactly 13 tiles from left to right. Figuring out the size from top to bottom is a little more difficult due to the angle. We can use previous knowledge from old games to see how much the angle plays with perception. Take the bed in the tent, for example. Single beds are always 1 tile wide and 2 tiles long, but the angle clearly makes it look smaller than it actually is. Taking that into account, we can make the educated guesses that each of the 2 plank groups are 2 tiles long and the lone plank is 2 tiles long as well, and we can just fill in the gaps from there. This one's a little more up for debate, but I'm pretty sure it's 9 tiles from the bottom to the top of the area, which means, yes, Nook Square is actually not a square, it's a rectangle! Oh my god, the humanity! From there, all we gotta do is cut out Nook Square from the map and paste it all over the minimap to see exactly how big the map actually is, and voila! We got ourselves a map size, baby! One last thing is that Nook Square doesn't actually fit perfectly from top to bottom and left to right, so I had to split the minimap up into the 13:9 size and add the map section sizes appropriately. Alright! Now, without further ado, let's see how big the map size is. Approximately. Like I said, this is an E3 build, and by the time the game comes out, a lot of things can be changed, which includes the map size. I was able to fit 8, almost 9 Nook Squares from left to right from the farther edge of the beach to the other, and almost 8 Nook Squares from top to bottom. This brings the total map size to 114 tiles wide and 70 tiles from top to bottom. That's 7,980 tiles approximately. I'm going to compare this to the other game's map sizes, but first, I want to show more other calculations I did. In case shoreline to shoreline isn't exactly what you're looking for, I also calculated how big the map was approximately from grassy edge to grassy edge, that being 91 tiles wide and 56 tiles from top to bottom, equaling 5,096. For this calculation, I also only started counting from beyond what I think were probably cliffs bordering our town. At least there's a weird discoloration on the map. I'm not entirely sure what else that could be, although there are like real cliffs, so I don't know, like, I'm assuming you cannot, that's an area you can't access, otherwise it wouldn't be colored like that, right? So kind of take this as a maximum dimensions and minimum dimensions approach. I also calculate the acres, those being the spaces between the dotted lines, as 21 wide and 13 long, or 273 tiles. Weird dimensions there. Acres in the past games have generally been symmetrical. You might think my math is wrong, but look for yourself. The acres are clearly more wide than long. Now you might be wondering, how does this compare to past Animal Crossing maps? Is the map finally getting an upgrade from the biggest map so far, ironically being from the first title, Population Growing? Well, short answer, no. But also yes. Much easier to figure out town sizes with previously released games, because all you gotta do is load up the game and get digging to confirm for yourself. Population Growing had acres that were 16 by 16, and the total town dimensions were 88 high and 80 wide. Or add 2 to the height for a total of 90 high if you want to include the absolutely massive beaches in Population Growing. Moving on a bit quicker here, Wild World's map is 64 wide and 63 high, with the invisible acre size being 16 by 16, just like Population Growing. City Folk's map is 79 wide and 77 high, with each invisible acre also being 16 by 16. And finally, New Leaf has a town size of 74 wide and 57 high, or 77 by 62, including the beaches, since they're decently big in this game. The Chad Beach versus the Virgin Beach of Population Growing. Anyway, the acre size didn't really matter in this game, since it didn't seem to play a part as far as I'm aware. This brings me to the direct comparisons. I'm going to include beach sizes in the comparisons just for the consistency of it, even though New Leaf's beaches barely felt a part of the town. So the first big comparison we can make here is that the fact the beaches seem to play a much bigger role in this game. They're much bigger than they ever have been, which is really what gives this map in total like a lot more space to work with. That's the thing, it almost feels a little bit wrong to include the beaches. The beaches aren't a big deal in other games except New Leaf and New Horizons, and even New Leaf they feel completely separate part of the town, but New Horizons, they're pretty big. So when you take the beaches into account, it really does give New Horizons the biggest map in the series with a total of 7,980 tiles. The second place being Population Growing with 7,200 tiles to be able to interact with. Those sizes being once again 90 by 80 in Population Growing and 114 by 70 in New Horizons. The smallest map is Wild World with 4,032 tiles, and followed by New Leaf with 4,774. You would think that New Leaf would be the biggest map since it's the newest game, but due to it being on a handheld, it really held it back a bit. The only other comparison I want to make is the fact that acre size in every single Animal Crossing game has always been 16 by 16, but New Horizons, it appears to be around 21 by 13, which is very odd. I mean, in real life, acres are much more longer than wide, but it's really weird that Nintendo appears to be going backwards instead by making it way wider instead of longer. If we quickly take a peek at what the map size is without including the beaches, we get a much different story. Once again, the beaches in every other game before this were much smaller, with Population Growing being only 2 tiles, with New Leaf being the biggest beaches before New Horizons, with an additional 3 tiles wide and 5 tiles in height. But if you take away the beaches from New Horizons, the map goes from 114 wide and 70 high to 91 wide and 56 high, which now gives us a total space of 5,096 tiles to work with, which would make this the smallest console map that has been released, with Population Growing dwarfing it with 7,040 tiles and City Folk being at 5,925 tiles, and then New Horizons coming in with 5,096. The thing that really messes with this is the whole beach thing, because do you really include the beach in the map size? I mean, you technically do, but you don't really do a whole lot on the beaches. It's not really land you interact with, can't grow really trees on it besides palm trees, can't really build much on it, although you can build on it in this game. So it's really up to you how you want to look at this, but here are just the numbers anyways, just to give you a complete overlook, and you can look at it however you want. And there you have it. I just want to say that's entirely possible, that this math is incorrect. Math was never my strong subject, but hey, I'm trying, okay? Also, please bear in mind that this is all approximate anyways. Since towns aren't in exact straight lines and they're more jagged, it is, you know, it's a lot more difficult to figure out exact calculations with that kind of stuff. I would be very surprised to find out if my measurements turn out to be almost perfect. Especially when I'm just taking a very pixelated, tiny spot on the map and just pasting it over and over again. But these are the most accurate calculations I could come up with anyways. But thank you very much for watching this very long-awaited video. I'm thinking about actually living out my promise now and actually doing more variety of stuff, with my next video focusing on a 90s anime and watching that for the first time. I'm sure there's a huge crossover between 90s anime fans and Animal Crossing. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Please like the video if you haven't already. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, you know, all the 1001 things Nintendo makes you do. I do have a Discord server. I do have a streaming channel. I stream on quite regularly. That'll all be in the description and likely in the top comment down below as well. Yeah, hope to see you guys next time. In 10 months when I post a video. Hopefully it'll actually be more like a month at the very most, but who knows, right? Thanks. Bye. Let's go this way.